Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be talking about the series finale and the new teaser that they just released for it. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So in this video we're going to be breaking down the penultimate episode, that synopsis, and also the series finale synopsis. That's going to be episode 12 and episode 13 respectively, plus we have a video to go over in regards to Grant's final day on The Flash at the end of the video, so stick around for that. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the penultimate episode first of season 9. That's episode 12, titled A New World Part 3. So I've talked about New World Part 1 before, obviously that episode aired recently, and I've talked about Part 2 before, so we got to get into Part 3 and then we'll get to Part 4. So, Extraordinary, Jessica Parker Kennedy and Rick Cosnett guest star. Team Flash works together to figure out how to protect Barry, all while being very careful who they trust. Cecile was skeptical of the plan after an unsuccessful attempt. Keown's confidence in Chester enables him to convince Cecile to try one more time. So this episode's airing on the 17th of May. That's in 11 days time from when I'm recording this video, so you don't have to wait very long. Obviously we have part 2 before this episode, and as we saw in last episode, Rick Cosnett returned. He is playing a very different character. We've made a separate video on that, so go on the channel and check that out if you haven't watched that video already. And so Rick Cosnett is going to be back in this episode as well as the previous episode we saw in the trailer. He is also in it. He's a very big character. But he's going to be joined as a guest star by Jessica Parker Kennedy, who is going to be returning as Nora in this episode. This is the first time that we've seen Jessica Parker Kennedy return as Nora in this season. Obviously she's been in many previous seasons and she's a major character, so it was expected that she would return. And so it's good to see that she's going to be joining Team Flash, probably trying to figure out how to help protect Barry, because that's what the synopsis says. For some reason they're going to have to be very careful who they trust. I'm not sure if they're talking specifically about Team Flash members here. That's what they're trying to say here. I believe that's what the synopsis is inferring. So I'm pretty sure Cobalt Blue is going to be going after Barry, and that's why they're going to try and figure out how to protect Barry. And in terms of who they can trust, maybe it's that Cobalt Blue has potentially taken over one of them or has previously taken over one of them, so now they're wary about who they can trust just in case he is listening in on their plans to try and protect Barry. I feel like that's the most reasonable thing that you can kind of assume from the synopsis. But Cecile was skeptical of the plan after an unsuccessful attempt. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, they're going to attempt to keep Barry safe, that's about it. Keown's confidence in Chester enables him to convince Cecile to try one more time. So, you know, they're just going to try it over and over again is basically what it's saying. I think the most exciting thing about this is obviously Jessica Parker Kennedy returning. There's probably going to be a reason why she's returning, so maybe it's linking into the future, and maybe she can do some recon for them in the future if that's where we're going with this. But I'm not really entirely sure why she is here. But for now, let's move on to the series finale and the synopsis that was just released. This is how the synopsis for A New World Part 4, aka the series finale of the entire show, goes like. The final run. The Flash, the fastest man alive, is tasked with his greatest challenge yet, to save the timeline and save existence. Friends old and new gather for an epic battle. Save Central City one last time. This episode is airing on May 24th, so just at the end of this month. This is literally our final month of having The Flash on air. It's crazy, it's going to be a great 3 weeks. Obviously, I think the final episode is going to be the biggest episode of all. We've seen lots of stuff from behind the scenes. We know it's going to be epic, as it says in the synopsis, and there's definitely going to be a big battle towards the end of the series finale. But let's go back and analyze this. So the Flash, the fastest man alive, is tasked with his greatest challenge yet, to save the timeline and to save existence. So it's interesting that they specifically say save the timeline, and why I say it's interesting is that we're pretty sure Cobalt Blue, aka Malcolm Gilmore, as he was called in the previous episode, is from the future, and very likely that the version of Malcolm we saw is like kind of the origin story of Cobalt Blue getting tapped into the negative Speed Force, because we are pretty sure that he's going to be the negative Speed Force avatar that was teased since the end of last season, because we always knew that there had to be a replacement, and seemingly it is Cobalt Blue. And it's very important that we mention what was in the behind the scenes, and that was that we saw all these returning villains from the Flash's past, like Zoom, Savitar, Reverse Flash, Godspeed, and we know that Savitar's suit was in fact red. So the assumption here is that if they are all tapped into the negative Speed Force, because he is the negative Speed Force avatar, and obviously Cobalt Blue was there with all of those villains. And I think the big giveaway definitely is the fact that Savitar's suit is not his traditional blue, but it's red, and so you can presume that most of the other villains are going to be tapped into negative Speed Force. So I think we're going to be seeing Savitar with red lightning, we're going to be seeing Zoom with red lightning, Godspeed, and everyone else that is there. And in terms of how they get there in this series finale, we're pretty sure, considering what's going on with Cobalt Blue and the fact that, as I said, we're pretty sure he's from the future and he has access to time travel because of the negative Speed Force. He can go back in time, he can change the timeline if he wants, like we've literally seen it in the previous episode with Barry and him literally being transported across time. So we know that whoever Cobalt Blue is, and we're pretty sure it's Malcolm, he can literally take people and pop them into another time period. So he could definitely do that to all of those villains if he wanted to get them all hooked into the negative Speed Force and of his team to try and take down Barry once and for all. We know that apparently in the last episode he's been waiting since the dawn of time, and considering we're only seeing him getting the negative Speed Force powers parallel to what we were seeing, can presume that he is just like Reverse Flash. He's been all over the timeline, and version of Cobalt Blue that took over Thawne is definitely more experienced in terms of what he's been doing, and he's been doing it for much longer. So it's kind of just like No Way Home in the way that, you know, all of these villains pop up and he's just literally going to be gathering them all together to fight Team Flash and stop them once and for all. Let's continue with this. So also they say to save existence, that's natural, considering that you have so many big threats all at once. So it's not all about saving the timeline. Yes, they have to fix the timeline and try and prevent it from getting messed up even more by Cobalt Blue's actions, because yeah, he's popping in all these people from different time periods, but also they are a threat to normal reality. Let's continue with the synopsis breakdown. So friends old and new gather for an epic battle to save Central City one last time. In terms of what we've seen, it's normal Team Flash. We know that Mark is supposed to be there as well, and we can guess there is going to be a couple familiar faces. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be on the battlefield, so some people might be, say, in Star Labs backing them up. So we know, and we're pretty damn sure, that Harrison Wells is going to be back, but it's not going to be any version of Wells, it's going to be Timeless Wells. Potentially he's going to be back in the team. Well, we know that he's going to be in the episode, so he will be back in the team. And I believe there is maybe a slim chance that Cisco could help out, but I'm going to say it's more likely that if he's going to show up at all, it's going to be just, you know, a cameo maybe on the TV or something to give some advice and see Cisco one last time. Also, it was confirmed that Jessica Parker Kennedy is going to be in this episode as well, and she's going to be one of those people that's going to be helping out Team Flash, and will be on the team to put an end to Cobalt Blue and his current plans in the series finale. Also, I guess there's a chance that maybe John Wesley's ship could show up. I don't think that's been confirmed, but it would be very good to see Jay at least one last time. Obviously, we all have our requests of what we would like to see in the series finale, but I think overall, this is going to be a good episode. It's going to be a good way to round out the show, and I think fans are going to be especially excited because of that massive villain lineup. That is the most exciting thing about this episode, in my opinion. Obviously, they have to wrap up things as well beyond just this final fight, so I don't reckon this is going to be like right at the end of the episode. It's probably going to be like midway through the episode towards the start, because they definitely have to, you know, give us a good farewell to all of the characters. So that pretty much does it for series finale synopsis. I'm very excited for the rest of the new world. We started off great with part 1. I look forward to part 2, and then obviously part 3 and 4 I think are going to be even better. But before we end this video, let's go ahead and talk about something else. So it's just a small thing I thought I would include at the end of the video because I've been meaning to talk about it since Grant posted this on the 24th of April, so the end of last month. Basically, that was his final day ever on The Flash. Well, he wasn't on set, but he was recording ADR, which is recording voiceovers or dubbing certain lines that they didn't get properly on set. And so there's a high chance that maybe he's doing one last final voice narration. I think if they truly want to call back to season 1 and especially the pilot, they would do some sort of "My name is Barry Allen" monologue at the end of the show in order to round it off, because that's how the show started. So that would be another kind of full circle moment. We've been talking about this quite a lot in terms of all these moments that I think Eric Wallace is going to try and pay off bit by bit. So maybe this is what's happening here, but I just thought I'd bring it up. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can see that. It was just a short Instagram video that he posted. But that does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. We are uploading pretty much daily right now, and you should check out all my latest videos to do with The Flash. There is quite a few videos up based on part 1 of A New World because there was so much that went down in that episode. I'm really looking forward to next Wednesday where we have part 2. Obviously, I'm going to have my review out after that episode airs, so stay tuned for that. Come back next Wednesday and obviously watch all the videos in between on the other days. We can talk about the 3rd to last episode of The Flash on that Wednesday. So you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.